Okay, what's up, gang? We've got another puzzle solve, obviously. And real quick before we get into the solve, I want to give a little shout out to my boy, Newbie QB. He's been commenting on all kinds of videos, being super supportive, and a lot of people were saying, oh, I want a shout out, can you give me a shout out, whatever, bing bang boom. So I figure, if you're an active subscriber and you want a shout out, just, comment, be engaging, active, make me laugh in the comments or whatever, and you could get a shout out. Because I think it's super cool to recognize the people that are, showing up on every video and saying good things. So you want a shout out, do that. Subscribe, comment, that's all you gotta do. And with that little shbing bang out of the way, here we go with the 2x2x2x2 solve. Now, obviously the concept of this puzzle is pretty straightforward. A bunch of 2x2s fused together at their corners. Now, obviously if you just want to watch this, just watch it, have a good time, enjoy, thanks. But if you actually want to solve one of these things, if you have this and you're like watching this as like a how do I solve this thing I have, make sure you know how to solve a 2x2 first. Something like this. Because if you don't know how to do that, the terms and things that I'm using in this won't really make any sense. But there's tons of good tutorials for the 2x2, and it's a pretty easy puzzle to solve. So once you're done that, then you can take on this monstrosity. So there's really only a couple differences between solving this and solving 4 2x2s in a row. One of them being that, let's take a look at this top face first of all. Now let's say this side was blue, because it's like half blue already. So let's say that this was blue. Then if we want to make this the blue face, we need 2 other blue stickers, right? Obviously, we need 4 stickers to make this face. But let's say that this face was the blue face, we would only need 3 blue stickers, because obviously the last piece is taken up by the cube that's fused to it. So it will give you a bit of restriction in terms of which side can be which color. And other than that, it's really just a matter of trying to do your moves that you're used to with this big mass wiggling around on the end of it. So seeing that there's only 3 white stickers, we know that none of these faces can be the white side. So let's find something here. Green has 4 stickers, so let's make this top part the green face. And we're just gonna do that as per usual. As per usual, being standard 3x3 insertion methods. Oh yes, this is going to be fun with how locky everything is. But green piece, green piece, green piece. Come around here. With everything else flopping around, it kind of gets in the way of the moves you're trying to make. Gotta make sure I keep this on the camera here. But there we go. If I just straighten this out so it looks normal. We've got our green face, or layer. The whole green layer is fully complete on our first 2x2. And now opposite of green will be blue, so we know we're gonna have to get blue up here. So this appears to be a soon OLO because we've got these pieces going around and one facing up here. Even though we can't tell what this piece, or how this piece would be oriented, we can soon our way through it. Even if you don't know what OL it is, then it's probably safe to just drill soons. And let's see if we got a little PLL skip bonus. We did not, but we've got our headlights here. Again, it's a little bit confusing trying to look at it with this big piece in the way, but here's our completed OLL and we've got headlights here. So we want to T-perm from this angle, which of course brings this big thing in our face, but nonetheless we'll try to get our T-perm done. And bingo bango, adjust that face, and we've got our first 2x2 solved and done. Now moving forward, it'll make it a little bit easier for us to know which color should be which, because like if we looked at this whole thing from this angle, these would all be yellow. If we looked at it from here, red, 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 red. So this solved side, cube, piece, this solved part gives us, a little bit of intel on what colors we want to see in which places. The only difference between this outer piece and this inner piece now is that, of course, you've got 2 corners that are fused, and It just makes turning a little bit harder, but other than that, we know where the colors are going, and it's going to be pretty repetitive. So let's do it. Maybe I'll start with the white face. No, we'll start with purple, just because I see this purple piece here. So purple is going to be this side, and that wouldn't be right. I think this needs to go in here. Like so. You can see how we kind of brought that purple piece down to where it belongs. You can see it's starting to already line up. It looks pretty neat. And now we know that this is going to be the purple and white piece, which is up here. So we can bring that down and around. You can see the purple's going in now. And that completes that. And then we just have to reorient this purple piece. Again, just using standard methods that we all know and love from learning 3x3 beginner method. And there's the purple layer done, and we know by looking at this solved portion that our OLL and our last layer is going to be red. So clockwise, we could assume that this red piece, oh actually it is facing up, but that's obviously not always going to happen. We could assume if there was a regular QB piece here, it would be the red facing up, and that means soon from this angle. So soon from this angle it is. Turn, please turn. Boom. And I think this case we did get away with a little PLL skip, and that's 2 cubes done. Looking pretty nice. This one's going to be pretty dang repetitive, so I think I'll just crank this one out and then you can watch it really fast. Oh geez, that turning was painful, and somehow I ended up flipping this cube. So this piece is totally solved, but it's not facing the same orientation. So I wish I could tell you how that happened. I don't know, but I'm gonna fix it before I give everyone OCD panic attacks. Alright, I'm not really going to admit to you how painful that was. Solving this one was exactly like solving this one. However, for some reason, I kept trying to ignore the part hanging off, and then when I got to PLL, I would solve it, and it would end up in that kind of flipped state like I showed you. It was solved, but not necessarily solved relative to all these pieces. You know, it would be like upside down, this would be yellow or something. Regardless, if I came out of that with any tips, it would be make sure you treat whatever's hanging off as its own one piece, and treat it as if you would treat any other piece solving just a 2x2, and that should keep it out of the way, but keep it in mind because it's a tricky piece. Regardless, we solved this one. We're on the last, which should be a little bit of an easier piece since it is just a fuse at one end. I think I'm gonna make this the white face, the last part, make this the last layer that we solve so that we can kind of see it all come together in one layer, which means we want to get the yellow side completed down here. So we can put this piece in. I think that'll complete. Yeah, there's our yellow bottom layer right there. And now we just need white on the top and do a standard oil. Uh-oh. I screwed that up. I think we'll just do soons. Getting a little bit delirious with this, but this should be OLO. And actually got a Y perm to figure it. A Y perm to finish it off. I don't know if I trust myself doing a Y perm. We're gonna do 2 T perms because let me tell you, this piece was painful and I'm not doing that again. So T perm number 1. Make sure I get you a good angle in here. Coming around here, you can see how confusing this would become with the puzzle kind of flailing all over the place. There's T-perm number 1, and we've got our headlights. T-perm number 2. Please don't fail me. Uh-oh, see that already? down, up there, and the front face, and we'll adjust that layer. And that is the 2x2x2x2 done. Now, like I said, this is relatively easy if all goes well, just like solving 4 2x2s. But if you start to trip up, especially in these two inner pieces with all the fused ones, it can definitely become confusing. Like I said, try to really treat the corner pieces as if they are one piece and do the same thing you would do if you were just solving a regular 2x2, and that'll make it a lot easier. And also pay attention to how you're orienting your solved piece. So even when you're doing, moves to this 2x2 cube, make sure you're thinking about how this is staying oriented, because that's what resulted in kind of those flipped solved cubes that you saw me have. Anyways, this was a long, painful one for me, so make sure you leave a like and let me know what puzzle you want to see next. There's all kinds of puzzles, whichever one you want to see. You guys inspired this one, so thanks for that. But regardless, see you in the next one.